What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to NeoVintage Games, and today we have our first new episode of what I'm tentatively calling EX News. Obviously highly inspired by Jabral's retro recap and some of the other news stuff we've done before. While he is way more into the retro aspect, I'm very, very in tune with the fighting game community and everything that is fighting games. I play almost every fighting game that comes out, and Jabral gets at me for that all the time. So I thought, why not be able to start going, maybe bi-weekly, monthly, depending on how the news comes out, kind of running through it, because sometimes the fighting game news gets to be, hidden, because a lot of stuff are, put away with updates and stuff like that. So I thought, why not give it a time to shine, since I'm already so invested into so many of these games and the communities, rosters, and all that great stuff. So we're going to go through some of the news that's happened. Some more recent than others. Some of them are just a little bit older, just because I wanted to have enough to discuss for you guys today. So we're going to kind of work our way around with some of the news that you may have heard, may have not have heard. So the newest news that we came out that just happened at the Game Awards is actually that somehow Sephiroth is joining Smash Bros. Ultimate. And this was such a shocker to me. I'm really in tune with a lot of these leakers and a lot of the community that is like the Smash roster speculators, big ones, that are usually filter through all the nonsense. So it's so wild that from what I heard from a lot of these guys who were discussing from their links and their resources, is this name was never proposed. So the second that we saw that trailer, and I'll hopefully have some of that clips from it for you here, when we heard the One Wing Angel theme song started, I kind of actually lost it. I was by myself watching the Game Awards, and I was super surprised, because I don't think I would have ever guessed, if you are familiar with what's, the conflict that was Square Enix and Smash Brothers to get Cloud back into the game, and then using Dragon Quest, the heroes as the bargaining chip, to now even getting Sephiroth back when they were not even giving us, songs and levels based out of Final Fantasy. It's amazing that they go and just up it with Sephiroth. Now, I do it's a bittersweet, because I don't want so many sword fighting characters in a game that's already so polluted with that. At the same time, if you're gonna give me another sword fighter, it's gotta be Sephiroth. I know a lot of people were kind of really hoping for Sora, but I think Sephiroth makes a little bit more sense since Cloud's already in the game. And it's just great news for that community. More information will be coming soon in the upcoming week, and we'll get a Sakurai breakdown and all that kind of stuff. So we'll keep in touch and see how Sephiroth really ends up being in the game. And a quick adaptation that came after that is March 26, 2021, we will finally be getting the Banjo-Kazooie and then the Byleth and Fatal Fury's Terry Bogard's amiibos. The amiibos, we actually, we have Persona, Jokers that came out a while ago. And so that's exciting that they're there, and people are really waiting on these amiibos, especially that Banjo one is looking a little too nice. So really excited for that. Continuing on to the news, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, which is a fighting game I still do play on my Switch. I'm saddened that the game never really took the community the way it should have, because of the way it kind of launched in a botched state. But they've been going on, they've been supporting the game, and we finally got what the end of Season 3 looks like, which will be coming to a end with the character Scorpina, which is very interesting. I like some of her moves, what it looks like. It's been a while since I've played a lot of it. I'm looking at some of these screenshots here, and it looks great. But if you're still the community that's still standing behind Battle for the Grid, that's really awesome. I'm glad the game's really changed to what it is now. People are really accepting of it. I'm glad they were able to kind of get out of that botched state that was at the beginning with no voice acting and no story modes, and they've stuck with it. So for those out there you go. Battle for the Grid Scorpina is coming out to end Season 3. I believe she may already be out. I missed that little segment, but she may be out already. Continuing on, we have a small comment. I don't want to get too far into it about the Smash Bros. Melee and the Splatoon fan communities clashing with Nintendo. Now, it's a little complicated, but to recap, there was a big, Melee online tournament that was going to be hosted. Nintendo pretty much shut it down because Melee does not play online. That is obviously connected to different ROMs and hacked versions of Melee that people were playing. Now, people protested in the Splatoon tournament that was happening officially by Nintendo with changing the name to Free Melee and different things like that. Now I don't want to get too far into that community because I know there are a lot of the Melee purists. That's their favorite game. There's no problem with that. It's a hit and miss because I do understand them wanting to just play their game online with their friends in a world where we're living in a pandemic and you can't do that. Now I know we have Ultimate, but even Ultimate's online is not the best, and there's people who just want to play Melee. Nintendo, if you're gonna do these cease and desist and shutting down these events and stuff like that, then you gotta give us another option. People want to play Melee. I don't understand why these games aren't being ported over, why they aren't doing Smash collections and stuff like that. I understand licensing is a small issue, but most of those characters, if not all, were licensed again to appear in Ultimate, so that should have been really something they would have worked on. But we'll keep an eye on that. The Smash Melee community has always been something that's been very vocal that that's the game they want. They don't want anything else, and that's what spawned Project M and all these other things. So hopefully they get to figure this out, and hopefully Nintendo can kind of let loose a little bit. I understand it's hard when you're trying to let your game out, this game from the GameCube era, be out there being cracked in their codes, and Nintendo's very picky on that. We all know that. So continuing on, we have King of Fighters 15 has finally been revealed, and a couple characters have been shown off. So SNK has announced 3 characters coming to the King of Fighters 15, which is one of the bigger games people are really waiting for in 2021. King of Fighters has been this staple for years now, and King of Fighters 14 kind of reinvented that and brought it back to this new generation. So it's really interesting. So some of the characters that have come back is, and I'm going to butcher the names. I like King of Fighters. I'm really new into it. I played a lot of the old ones, but I'm refamiliarizing myself with 14. So you have Kyo, Shunrei. No trailers, anything like that have been really shown off. It's been a lot of, drawings and stuff like that. But so Kyo, Benomaru, and Shunrei would all appear in the upcoming fighting game. Some of those guys have been staples since. You have a lot of early artwork that's shown off. Again, no trailer, nothing like that. The game, I believe, is still technically planned to be released in 2021. We don't know exactly what that looks like with delays and stuff like that. We don't know what 2021 will even look like. So we're going to be keeping an eye on King of Fighters. I'm glad it's still around. I understand there's a lot of issue with some backing and stuff like that on SNKs, on corporation-wise. But the game's there, and the community is obviously going to love this. So it's really exciting to see King of Fighters still coming back. I was worried about it for a little bit. Almost done here with the news now. This one's a little bit older. We discussed this on the main podcast a while back about the Capcom leaks, unfortunately. And there was a lot of stuff that was leaked in there, and I'm not going to really get too far into it. The big one that was leaked was Street Fighter 6, which with Street Fighter 5 finally starting to dwindle down, Street Fighter 6 probably releasing in 2022 is going to be pretty interesting. The issue with that a lot of people are taking is that not only is Street Fighter 6 planned, Street Fighter 6, Super Street Fighter 6, I believe, and Street Fighter 6 Arcade Edition or Ultimate, where Ultras, I'll correct myself actually. So it's Street Fighter 6 would be in 2022, Super Street Fighter 6 in 2023, and Ultra Street Fighter 6 in 2024. Now people are kind of upset with these re-releases. It's already planned so far out. Now you guys have to kind of understand that the re-releases have changed. I only own the base disc of Street Fighter 5, and every couple years I would buy the upgrade pack, the new season pack that would bring my game to the newest edition. Now the base stuff you would always get for free. So my copy of Street Fighter 5 upgraded to the Arcade Edition, to the Ultra Edition, to the Champion Edition, all naturally. Now the characters, costumes, and some stages are locked behind a paywall. But instead of cranking out mandatory Street Fighter games, at least we have, you can be able to get them while you do it. There is some online grinding you could do to get some of these characters. And the way this is being shown in the Capcom leaks, again, nothing is official. We have to assume that this is going to be the same process, where you're going to get Street Fighter 6, 2 years later they're going to do a massive update, very much to, if you think, to Destiny or Mortal Kombat that just did Mortal Kombat, Aftermath, and Ultimate, where you didn't have to jump into those games. The new patches and stuff. The patches and all the features had to be, upgraded, for free. Characters and passes and costumes, all that is going to be not microtransaction, but paid content. So that's really where that's gonna sit. And so to end the episode today, guys, well, first, obviously, we're going to keep an eye on the Street Fighter 6. It's probably going to be a while before we hear that Street Fighter 5 has just started to wrap up. I think we're actually still missing one more character pass or a few characters that they're going to be planning. It already may be out. I do apologize. It's been a while, but I don't remember seeing that drop. So we'll keep in contact for that. But Street Fighter 6 is obviously going to happen. Street Fighter 5 has been fantastic. It's sold really well. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes of Street Fighter 6 and what potentials they have with these re-releases already so far planned, and if that's going to change due to Backlash and the leaks. So to end the episode today, guys, we're going to do a big congratulations to NetherRealms, Ed Boon, and everyone involved for Mortal Kombat 11. So Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate did win Fighting Game of the Year at Jeff Keighley's Game Awards. It's kind of the one I actually was really voting for. It was a rough year because so many of the games on the list were kind of re-releases. Mortal Kombat Ultimate technically isn't a new game. It is the most updated game. Same with Street Fighter with the Champion Edition. I am disappointed that Tekken 7 wasn't considered just because it didn't have a re-release name. In a sense, I feel like a lot of people are ignoring Tekken 7. They just launched their new season with their new characters, and I'm actually having a lot of fun playing that. It actually loads very quickly on PlayStation 5, even though it's not a native PS5 upgrade, where Mortal Kombat 11 did launch completely again with a free upgrade for Mortal Kombat 11. So congratulations to everyone over there. It's great to see this game, you know, being really recognized again and still in such a community. We just got Rambo and Rain. It's really interesting over there. So congratulations to everyone that worked on Mortal Kombat 11. It's amazing. We can't wait to see what you guys are going to do next, because I believe Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate may be the wrap-up for Mortal Kombat 11, so it's time to see what they're doing next. Will they do an Injustice 3? I kind of hope they go somewhere else first before going to Injustice 3. And Mortal Kombat 12, obviously, will not be for a while. So that's what I'm glad we have this new updated Mortal Kombat 11. So Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, congratulations to everyone. So guys, that's the end of this episode for today of EX News. Been talking about the fighting games. If there's anything that I missed, make sure you let me know, because news gets out, swirls around. There's so many fighting games. You know, there's all these things that we're looking at, trying to play at once. And it's a busy time and a busy year. So if there's any news that I missed that you think I should know about, talk about, make sure you leave me, you know, a comment below and everything like that. Now, for release schedule, this is kind of also going to be depending, you know, on the news very much as our other shows do. If we get a very packed week, I may have to wait a week or 2 weeks to really make sure we get a lengthy episode to discuss it. If there's one specific news that really breaks that I want to discuss, obviously I'll talk about it as soon as I can and get it up there to get my thoughts and opinions on there. So guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and take care.